outgoing chairman of the National Youth Council Taraba State Chapter, has provided an update on the ongoing transition process. He noted that a committee was inaugurated months ago to supervise the forthcoming elections. The chairman called for a peaceful and transparent process, urging only eligible candidates to participate. He also appealed to stakeholders to support the council, adding that he will be monitoring the exercise to ensure due process is followed.
Notwithstanding, I want to draw closer the attention of my fellow youths that this time around is not going to be business as usual. We have collectively worked hard to see this day. And I want to draw the attention of our youth to strictly abide by the rules and regulations of the Constitution of the National Youth Council of Nigeria. We have guidelines, we have eligibility, and devoid of anything, we are strongly affirming that we are going to go in line with of the NYCL. So please and please, if you know you are not eligible, if you know you have any limitation towards contesting or vying for any office in the council, please just stay off. Allow people that are eligible to come and contest. I and my co-ESCOs, my secretary and my deputy and the entire outgoing ESCOs are ready to give a befitting, free and fair election in this process. So we don't want anything that will come against this process. To God be the glory. At the brief to the governor about the election, he has supported and he has asked me to do one thing, which is go in line with your constitution, and he who emerges should emerge. So we have gotten that clearance for the governor to do the right thing. And I wish to call on all relative stakeholders that you should help us guide your words towards the constitutional provisions of the council. On this note, before I drop my speech, as the chairman of the agency saddled with the responsibility of supervising the National Youth Council, I wish to say I will watch keenly with close supervision for the right thing to be done. Thank God we have the Constitution. We are going to follow strictly the Constitution and ensure that the right things are done.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the planning committee has released details of the election timetable. According to him, the sale of nomination forms will hold on December 9th to December 13th, 2025, followed by screening on the 15th, while the elective congress is scheduled for December 17th. He also highlighted the designated venues for each activity and noted that post-election matters will be handled at a separate location. He assured that all necessary arrangements have been put in place for a smooth and orderly election.
Nomination forms will be on sales and the day it will be closed and the day of the elections. It is as follows. On the 9th of December 2025, sales of nomination form will start. It will start from 9 a.m. up till 4 p.m. daily. It will start from the 9th till the 13th December 2025, and the venue for which intending aspirants will purchase their forms is at number 12 Miape Plaza, opposite Joli Nyame Stadium, Jalingo. On the 14th of December, all purchased forms will be submitted. All purchased forms will be submitted, duly filled, and all the credentials that shall be attached herein will be submitted. And the submission will take place from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. in the same venue. On the 15th of December 2025, all candidates who purchased forms shall avail themselves in the same venue for screening from 9 a.m. up till 4 p.m. of 15th December, after which their names will be published. All successful aspirants will know if they are eligible to contest or go ahead with the elections. On the 17th of December 2025, which is going to be our elective Congress Day, the Congress will start from 9 a.m. up till 4 p.m. and the venue of the elections is going to be Jim Hall, Joel Inyame Stadium, Jalingo. On the 18th of December, there shall be post-election matters, which means that whatever crisis, whatever issues that each and every aspirant must have encountered, there shall be a panel of judicial inquiry which will attend to each and every post-election matter, and the venue for which they will attend to these issues will be in the same venue, number 12, Miapet Plaza, opposite Joel Inyame Stadium, Jalingo. These are the lineup of activities that will happen from starting tomorrow up until the day of the elections. Thank you very much.
In another development, Comrade Michael, who is responsible for conducting the election, has reaffirmed that the outline schedule will be strictly adhered to. He stressed that all aspirants must meet the eligibility criteria as stated in the Constitution before taking part in the election. Comrade Michael promised transparency, fairness and consistent update to the public as the process unfolds.
As the Electoral Committee, we are saddled with the responsibility, in accordance with the Constitution of the Council, to conduct the election as planned by the CPC. We've gotten the schedule of the convention as planned by the CPC. And I want to ensure the general public that we are going to ensure that we follow the schedule as planned by CPC strictly. So we're encouraging the general public to ensure that they are not left behind in terms of following the schedule, so that we can all avoid any unforeseen complaints. Now, the most important critical issue as an ELECOM, which I want to draw the attention of the general public, is in the place of ensuring that anybody that is aspiring for any position, any youth that is aspiring for any position, shall ensure that he meets up with the eligibility criteria as contained in the Constitution of the NYC. Because we're going to sells the form, screen candidates, then conduct the election. So if anybody did not meet up with that eligibility criteria, we are advising should step aside. We're going to make those eligibility criteria public, and at the point of the sales of form, we're going to issue it out. So everybody should carefully study those eligibility criteria to see if he falls short of any of the criteria. Should not even waste his time to come and purchase a form, because we promise, as we have taken an oath during our inauguration, that will ensure that we follow the eligibility criteria to the letter. We're going to give a befitting convention for the entire youth of Taraba State. We're going to ensure that the right people that should occupy position in National Youth Council are the ones that occupy after this convention.
Also speaking, a former contestant announced that he has stepped down from the race. He emphasized the committee's mandate to ensure justice, fairness, and credibility throughout the election process. He appealed for public cooperation and support to enable a smooth and credible transition for the NYC Taraba State chapter.
Going by personal conviction and having observed that there's a lot to achieve in the spirit of unity, I wish to inform you categorically that I am no longer in Cortes. However, I have accepted to function as one of the umbrella in the conduct of the next elective Congress that will usher the next leadership of the Council. As the chairman of the NYCN Judicial Council of the 2025 elective Congress in Taraba State, I will want to assure Taraba youths that the mandate of this council is to ensure justice and fairness is being put to play during election. And those that are eligible and are clean should approach equity with clean hands. Just like the chairman of the Electoral Committee has clearly stated that if you know you are not eligible, there will be no miracle to make you eligible. If you are eligible and you are clean, please endeavor to exercise your franchise, because the youth platform and umbrella is the footage of the secular politics. I urge each and every one of Taraba youths to unanimously support the mandate of this committee in ushering a new administration to pilot the affairs of the Youth Council.
Hepzibah Joseph, Frontline News.
Hello there, once again, you're welcome to Frontline TV, where we'll be bringing you newspaper headlines for the day and the leading stories that are making trending news in Nigeria. And as usual, I have a friend. He's going to be with me, and we're going to analyze some of the leading stories from the Nigerian headlines, shall I say the tabloids of the Nigerian newspapers. So, my dear brother, you are welcome to our studios once again.
I'm glad to be here too. Thanks.
We're going to start off with the
Before,
punch
let me
news.
cut you off a little bit. Apart from this, we are going to look at Man U quantum leap from what it was last season for them and what they are doing this week.
That is
especially in the sports segment. Yes, I don't want to miss that because they've done well.
And I want to believe that we have sport lovers immensely out there. So don't worry, he's going to give you sports update. And I just hope that there will be no humiliating stories this
There
time.
was, because Man U humiliated their opponents yesterday. Wolfham, the other day, Wolfham Wanderers, 4 goals to 1.
Okay.
We never expected that leap, but they really tried.
All right,
We'll
fine.
come back to that later.
You just have to stay close to your phones and wherever you're watching us to actually enjoy today's package, because there's going to be sports update. So today we're going to start off with the Punch newspaper, which is the most widely read newspaper. And the Punch has just few leading stories. And I'm just going to take the leading story, the bold one, in front of the Punch newspaper. Federal government defers 70% of 2025 capital projects to 2026. And also government stops new projects, imposes spending limits. 22.37 trillion naira budgeted for 2026 capital expenditure. And also the issue of the coup that was foiled in Benin. There's a part here from the top part of the Punch newspaper that says Benin foiled coup, US reviews travel warning, hostages regain freedom, and POS takeover. It says federal government ends cash payments in MDAs. Now, let's not forget the leading story is talking about the federal government defers 70% of 2025 capital projects to 2026.
Musa, if you look at the percentage that has been deferred to 2026, what percentage?
70%.
Which means nothing was done
In the year 2025.
Just let them tell us that nothing was done in 2025. The whole thing will be done in 2026. and probably the rest of 2022 will be done 2027. I don't see seriousness in the work. If they had come up earlier and said, I mean, within the year, and say for 2025 we were not going to do much, Nigerians would have been comfortable. Coming in December 2025 to tell us that 75% of
70% of the
what have
capital
been
projects that not have been done in this year
would not be carried to 2026, which means 2025 you did not do anything. You did less than 25% of your work.
Well, in case if you want to get the full gist why the federal government deferred 70% of 2025 capital projects to 2026, when you obtain a copy of the Punch newspaper and you peruse through it, you will get the full gist. But we're going to analyze it to the best that we can, just to keep you abreast. Now we're moving over to the Matrix newspaper.
Musa, before we go, let's look at that issue of Benin Republic coup.
I know you were going to talk about it, so I deliberately wanted to skip it.
Because I see it as, call it a double face. Nigeria used her military might to quell the coup in Benin Republic. But the question is, what prompted that coup attempt?
Okay.
If the president there elongated by way of constitution, elongated the term or the time a president can rule, which means he's using the law, using the government to siphon people's interest. And of course, you cannot eat your beat a child and not the child not to cry.
Not to cry, okay.
Definitely, because the government in Benin Republic must have done something that annoyed the military
to come up with
coup attempt.
But it's foiled.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I call it coup attempt. So West Africa, it's like the democracy in West Africa is not going properly. That is why you hear coup. It was Guinea, Bissau, some couple of days back. Today is Benin Republic. Tomorrow it might be Togo, or even the latest election in Ivory Coast. It might lead to coup again. So let West African politicians know what to give to the people. They shouldn't be giving West Africa. They shouldn't be giving people trash and want them to believe that it's good governance.
Okay.
It's only bad governance that leads to coup attempt and coup d'etat.
Well, I think in the course of time,
we'll know
why there was that attempt. You understand? Because the US is reviewing travel warning and the hostages have actually regained freedom. So now, let's move over to the Matrix.
It's okay.
The Matrix newspaper. The leading story from the Matrix newspaper says 100 Niger Catholic students release. We must account for all victims. This one is coming from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, talking about President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. He's saying that they must account for all victims and also charges security agencies to ensure swift rescue of others, and also says security agencies working with governors must prevent future kidnapping. They must, as in capital must. And Governor Bago receives 100 abducted Niger State school children after release. Still from the Matrix newspaper, the top part says ADC commends and condemns federal government's contrasting response to Benin and Guinea-Bissau's coup. We just talked a little bit about it. Queries the slow response to domestic crisis, including insurgency, kidnapping, and mass abductions. The top part of the Matrix says NNPCL 2021 audit. Reps panel demands Ojulari's appearance. Sets December 15 ultimatum. Now, when we will now still go down to the bottom part of the front of the Matrix, is showing a picture of Aliko Dangote as he engages Dubai leaders to explore new investment prospects. And this meeting was held in Dubai. And judge declines Nnamdi Kanu's application for prison relocation, and also insecurity getting out of control. Kwankwaso is the one saying this, at the same time warning the federal government. And also, none of my classmates is under 90. Obasanjo hits at true age. And TikTok blocks late night live streaming in Nigeria amid safety review. Well, for TikTok lovers and users, it's going to be another challenging period as they have blocked late night live streaming in our dear country. And Nigeria's external reserves hit 6-year high, surpassed $45 billion. Well, 100 Niger Catholic students released. We must account for all victims. This one's coming from Tinubu. You understand?
Little too late.
Why do you,
Thank you very much. I like the way.
why do you say that?
Because by the time this government came into place, before they came in, they said they were going to end insecurity. APC government promised us under Buhari that they were going to end insecurity in few months. In 8 years of Buhari's regime, it saw the rise of insecurity. Under this present administration, it has risen more than 3 times. So if you are telling us that you are going to, that is not what we are supposed to hear. We should be getting results, not the kidnapped 200 people. You say one that have been released. You have not done a great job. You have done something, but not what we expected. The fears that was used to quench the coup in Benin Republic, that was the same zeal Nigeria respected for these people to be released. All of them, not just 100.
I think yesterday we were going through, there was a paper we were going through that the president of Nigeria was commending the Nigerian forces for helping in curbing the coup
In Benin Republic.
Now, the Nigerian army, we believe, we know they have what it takes to at least see to it that they bring down, they mitigate this issue of kidnapping,
And
banditry
terrorism.
and everything. They will have mitigated it to the barest minimum. But you know, in Nigeria, they will say, step down.
Musa, if you remember, most of the governors in the North Central, governor of Niger State, governor of Zamfara State, and a few others, over time they have been telling us they know where these bandits live, they know their camps, they know this blah blah blah. Why won't the same Nigerian Air Force, the work they did in Benin Republic, in less than 3 hours, it was all over? What is stopping them? Apart
From having a replica like that.
Yes, in Nigeria. So releasing 100 children, and it's job well done, but not what expected. We are expected that all the children have been what?
And that is what the
brought back.
president is saying, that they must account for all victims.
And the question is, just like the Minister for Defense was mandated to do, who gave the order for the security to be withdrawn
from the front of the school.
Yes, minutes before that attack? If that puzzle is not solved, we should expect more kidnapping and things like that in the future.
Okay, then where do you stand on this issue of the judge that declined Nnamdi Kanu's application for prison relocation?
If it is the rule of law, fine. But if it's not, be done properly.
Okay, then this issue of Nigeria's external reserves that hit 6-year high surpasses $45 billion.
The question, if the external reason has increased, what is the living standard of Nigerians within this period? Are we living better? So whatever thing you save abroad and your citizens are not getting it right, are not feeling the impact of good governance, wrong. Just if you look at Nigeria, everything about Nigeria is now tax. And the people are way down with excess poverty. So I don't think this is not news to me, frankly speaking.
But do you agree with Kwankwaso saying that insecurity is getting out of control and that he's warning the federal government?
Kwankwaso is part of it anyway. He's getting out of control. But deep down, Kwankwaso and his likes are those part of people that made the insecurity we are facing today to be at this level.
How?
Thank you. You see, over time, the security apparatus in Nigeria have always one way or the other indicted state governors or other stakeholders of paying lip service to security, especially in their domain. When election comes, when Kwankwaso was vying for governorship in Kano State, how many miscreants were following him with sticks and clubs and machetes?
The thugs.
The thugs. How many of them? After the election, what happened to those boys? They went back and become terrorists. So what he's telling us is getting us off hand. Is he not part of the originators of it?
And now he's the one even for
I beg,
the federal
next page.
government. All right, now let's take a look at the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper, the leading story says, Tinubu seized Benin Republic airspace legally. This one is coming from a source from the Senate. And also, federal government bans cash payments for its services. Federal government to courts, speed up hearing of terrorism and kidnap cases. And 100 students released by terrorists handed over to Niger government. These are the leading stories from the Vanguard, even though there's a note of appreciation on the successful funeral ceremony of late Captain William John Ayegbene Elaweremi. This one is just, it actually took the whole front of the Vanguard newspaper. So I think we're not going to say much in respect to some of the stories here. It's there. But your stand on this source from the Senate that says Tinubu seized Benin Republic airspace legally. How?
Musa, I believe is if it is in the ECOWAS protocol that ECOWAS, and for the time, if in the protocol that ECOWAS can muster up army to assist a state within their community that is in need, fine and good. But if Nigeria has done it without consulting other ECOWAS countries, I don't see it as proper.
Okay.
For me, I don't say. But if it is in the ECOWAS protocol that such should take place, fine and good. But if it is not, I see it as an infringement on Benin Republic.
Okay.
Because the army probably knows what they're doing. Because you cannot say because you are a democratically elected president, use up that privilege to make laws that are detrimental to the people. You can, like I said earlier, you cannot be the child not to cry. Except if there is an underground relationship between government in Nigeria and the so-called democratically elected government of Benin Republic.
Yeah. All right. The Nigerian Tribune, that's the much we're going to take from the Vanguard newspaper. You're still watching newspaper headlines coming to you from Frontline TV. We're now moving over to the Nigerian Tribune. Leading story boldly on the Nigerian Tribune says insecurity. Miners tackle northern governors, reject call for ban on mining. And top part of the Nigerian Tribune says $2.4 billion Eurobond oil receipts remittances drive Nigeria's $7.5 billion reserves surge. It was a research that was carried out, and that's the outcome of it. And the court bans AMCON appointed lawyer from representing GHL over disobedience of court order. And still from the front of the Nigerian Tribune, the top part says Turaki-led PDP governors, others hold marathon meetings amid convention plans by Wike's camp. All right, and still from the front of the Nigerian Tribune, gunmen murder pastor's wife, raise houses, vehicles in Anambra Church, kill 4 other in community. Most unfortunate. NSA hands over 100 rescued pupils to Niger government. U.S. Congressman Moore says security talks with Nigeria productive. Still, the Nigerian Tribune, the front of it, Tinubu in separate meetings with Fubara, 7 APC governors. ICPC Works Ministry begin nationwide audit of 760 road projects. Reps quiz NERC over 109 moribund licenses, accuses discourse of unethical practices. Let me pause there to get your reaction on some of the leading stories from the front of the Nigerian Tribune.
So I want to start with that of mining, where Mr. Miner, one miner,
no, the miners,
the miners
tackling northern governors, and they reject call for the banning of mining.
Well, mining, miners and whatever, if it is illegal. But you see, that is why Nigeria still becomes, Nigeria is a country you cannot really understand. Few people are giving, or some states have the right to exploit their natural resources in terms of ore. But states that have crude oil don't have that right. It's only federal government that manages who gets the license
in another
state. People who have iron ore, bauxite, lithium, gold, and whatever in other states, granite, they have the right to follow the government license. But when you have crude oil, it is only the federal government that license those who drill crude oil. Why? And that is what has given these miners the God to say you cannot ban mining.
And then they're tackling them.
So what is good for the geese is good for the gander, my brother. So if the same privilege is given to those who have crude oil in their land, let it be given to those who have solid minerals in their land too. So everybody should be treated equally. You cannot be treating one side
and then leaving the other side.
That is why you have insecurity in the north. So much so that every part of the north is riddled with problem of insecurity, because a lot of gold, bauxite, lithium, blue sapphire all abundant in Nigeria. And each state has this right to exploit it, but not so in other places that have crude oil.
No wonder they're rejecting the call for banning on mining. But the other hand, you are trying to say something else again?
Yes, there was another story that you mentioned about. I've forgotten the story, but I don't think it's just a wicked story.
Okay, that's the Turaki-led PDP governors. PDP governors, others hold marathon meeting and made convention plans by Wiki camp.
Wiki should come open to Nigeria. He should stop destabilizing the political atmosphere in Nigeria, because it's neither in APC nor in PDP
or even ADC.
In ADC. So Wiki should come out openly. If it's in APC, let him say, I'm in APC, and stop bothering PDP. If it's in PDP, let him stop. Let him stop, because if you are campaigning for another person in another party, as Wiki is campaigning for Tinubu, is anti-party activity. And because PDP has not come out openly says Tinubu is our candidate. If PDP says so, fine, Wiki can be able to now say, okay, let me campaign for His Excellency, PBAT. But as long as he's still in PDP and campaigning for Tinubu, is anti-party activity.
But what the laws governing parties, are they actually being adhered to?
Whether there is no way you have absolute democracy or 100% political decision. But the point remains, there is no party that will tell you to campaign for another person in another party while they are still part of us. That one over the world is 100% what they call it, anti-party activity.
So which means there are many people that have defected to the present ruling party, but they are still card-carrying members of the other party.
And which is hypocrisy.
And which is not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be. If you're a member of any particular party, go to the party and work for the party. You cannot be disturbing people because you are the corridors of power.
This issue of NSA, the handing over of 100 rescued peoples to Niger government, where do you stand on that?
That's good. At least treat them well. Then the school, if your child, let the governor Bagu or whatever the governor is, that school, can your child attend that school? The school where those children were adopted, can your own child attend the same school? If it is not up to the school your daughter or your children, that is standard. Please do something about it. Because most of our governors, our senators, and others, they all take their children to abroad or better schools and allow the schools in their own domain to be open to any kind of nonsense.
God will help us if we're willing to help ourselves.
That's it.
Nigerian Tribune, that's the much we're going to take from it. And don't forget, you are watching newspaper headlines coming to you from Frontline TV. And you can also drop your comments at the suggestion box or the comment section. We'll get back to you live and direct. It's still Frontline TV. We're now going to take a look at the Blueprint newspaper. The leading story from Blueprint newspaper says, implementation of Nigeria-US dialogue will crush terrorism. This one is coming from the U.S. Congressman Moore, and hails federal government on release of 100 abducted school children. Northern governors earmarked 228 billion naira to tackle security challenges. AGF Fagbemi pledges speedy trial of kidnap and terrorism cases. And still from the Blueprint, the top part says Idris Bag's NAEP's Excellence Award pledges trust in public communication. And still from there, Wiki pledges, that's in front of the Blueprint newspaper. There's a mini headline there that says Wiki pledges more houses for FCT judges. Federal government tackles revenue leakages, bans cash payments to NDAs. And also AFCON, this one is sports. Nwabali battling injuries, not fit, says the coach. And UN launches $33 billion humanitarian aid, urges global solidarity.
Musa, I want to go back first to Punch before I come to this Blueprint.
Okay.
There was a story in the Punch you mentioned about federal government roads, about 700 government roads.
Yes.
That will be...
That's government stops new projects and imposing spending limits. But the one of the Punch newspaper is the deferring of 70% of 2025.
Okay, whether it was this paper, but there was one that will talk about federal government roads.
Okay.
I want to ask, is Jalingo Numa Road part of it? Because that road has been under construction for the past 12 years, since the first tenure of Buhari till today. Less than 10 kilometers of that road has been done, and 20% of the completed area has begun to spoil once again. So the question
It's
is,
already bad.
It's already bad. The question is, Jalingo Numan Road, when will the federal government complete it? If the federal government can complete a section of Lagos Calabar, the so-called coastal highway, is it more important than Numan Jalingo Road? The answer is no. It's not more important, Musa. This Jalingo Numan Road is one of the roads that connects southeastern Nigeria to northern part of Nigeria.
Part of the country, yeah.
Apart from that, I don't see. These are the only two roads.
Okay.
From Jalingo to Numan. So federal government should do something about it. Now let's go to the issue of the blueprint you just left now. You just read now.
The U.S. Congressman Moore saying that full implementation of Nigeria-U.S. dialogue will crush terrorism. That's the dialogue between Nigeria and the U.S.
It will, if Nigerian leaders are sincere to that agreement. Because one thing is being sincere to an agreement, and at the end of the signing it is a different thing. I remember one Jamaican historian and a songwriter, Peter McIntosh. He said in one of his songs, Peace Treaty, he says, immediately after signing the treaty, it collapsed. And those who signed the treaty are in the cemetery. What was he trying to put apart? He's trying to say futility of human effort. Human effort at times works well, but it all depends on the sincerity of those in government. They can sign the agreement today, but the mindset of our people, either religious background or ethnicity, we could be having, like some people before, we were told that these bandits are not Nigerians. These terrorists, kidnapping, some of in the dream behind them say they were not Nigerians, they were foreigners. But today, they say they are Nigerians, they should give them whatever thing, amnesty. But you say they are not Nigerians before. Why are you saying that they are Nigerians now? So will you give amnesty to foreigners who come to destabilize your country? So what am I trying to say in effect? If sincerity is not there in what they are saying, if they like, let them sign 100 page of agreement, it will not work at the end of the day.
Okay, that's a little bit of the little bit of what we can analyze from the blueprint newspaper, and we'll now take you over to the last newspaper for today. That is the newspaper that you can trust, and that is Daily Trust. The leading story from the Daily Trust: 7 women protesters killed in Adamawa. There's an ongoing issue around the Lafia Lamole axis, and the leading story here is talking about the 7 women protesters that were killed in Adamawa. And still from the top part of the Daily Trust newspaper: genocide, U.S. lawmakers visit Benue. U.S. lawmakers visit Benue. Troops kill bandits, rescue victims in Sokoto. And also 17 agencies scored 0 in efficiency rating. This one is a report. And also EFCC Silver's residents. Court declines Nnamdi Kanu's request for prison transfer. The bottom part of it says, our ordeal in the bush rescued Niger students. And also there is a picture, that is the picture of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State while receiving the 2025 Nigerian Excellence in Public Service Award from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ably represented by the SGF Senator George Akume on Sunday, the 7th of December 2025 at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Now, this issue of genocide, U.S. lawmakers visit Benue. We all know what has been happening in Nigeria. We know the role that the government has been playing. We know the role that the security agencies also have been playing. But at a point in time, we all watched it. We heard it that the governor of Benue State, talking about His Excellency Governor Alia Hyacinth, said that there is no genocide in Benue. Now, there were so many other reports making waves, even on the international scene, that primarily the concern of the U.S. people is the issue of genocide. You understand? And he now came out and said there is no genocide in Benue. Where do you stand on that kind of reaction coming from the #1 citizen of a state?
Probably you might be learned. You might become an educated illiterate. Just like the former defense minister said that where the bandits are hiding, bomb cannot penetrate that place. That is the comment of an educated illiterate. You might be educated, but you don't have correct analysis of facts. I don't know what Governor Alia understands from the word genocide. The genocide could be somehow defined as deliberate attempt to wipe out a particular group of people. Just like it happened during the Second World War, whereby Hitler wanted to wipe out all Jews and all Jehovah's Witnesses. They were given purple triangle. So now what Alia should have done would have said that there is massive killing in Benue State. He didn't mention that. If he had said, oh, I may not call it genocide, but sorry, there has been massive killing in my state. That would have been a better option. Not that there is nothing like that. He denied his people and denied his faith. Because I believe that those people that were killed in Benue State, 80% of them are Chief-speaking people or thereabout, and other people that are living there. Just like also the bandits are killing both Christians and Muslims in other parts of the north. But that of Benue, you can say that 70 to 80% are of particular tribe. And you say it's not made genocide. What does he understand by genocide?
And of a particular faith.
A particular faith. 70 to 80%. So which means Governor Alia is an educated illiterate to that at that point in time, because he's not saying the truth. Because probably he doesn't know it, though he's educated. That is my stand on that too.
Okay. Then what of the issue of the 7 women protesters killed in Adamawa?
What were they protesting for? But no matter what, they shouldn't have been killed. Because what they should have done is to protect them, as long as they were not violent. Even if they were violent, I know they were not carrying guns. Whoever had maybe killed them, whether the security agents or whatever, should have used other deterrents to reduce whatever violent measure these demonstrators might have taken. So killing them wouldn't have been the best option. So, but those who killed them, the matter shouldn't be swept under the carpet. They should be treated according to the law.
All right, I think we are going to call it a wrap. But before we go, what's going to be your last line?
My last line on this paper report is that our leaders make Nigeria better, because our leaders are the problems of Nigeria. Because the way they are going about Nigeria, this one will come and lie, the other will come and say something different. It makes our leaders look stupid in the Committee of Nations. So they should be sensitive to know that most of us are educated. We know what is happening. Don't start telling us a different thing while we are seeing a different thing on ground. So our problem in Nigeria basically starts from the sincerity of our leaders. They should mind their utterances, and of course, be defined in what they're saying.
And reduce causing confusion.
That is just that.
All right, thanks for coming on to today's segment of Newspaper Headlines, where we were able to analyze 1 or 2 things and to enlighten people about what is happening in the country. I will just pray that the women that were killed in Adamawa State, God rest their soul, we sympathize with them. Well, there you have it. Thanks for coming on to the program once again.
Thank you,
and
Musa.
hope that whenever we come knocking, you'll open your doors to us.
Yeah, of course, definitely I will. But before we go, let's go back to that Man U story.
Sports. I wasn't going to wrap up fully until we get the issue of the sports.
Yes.
So you were trying to say something.
Yes,
that has
first
to
of
do
all,
with
let's start
sports.
from AFCON. Nigeria has a lot of goalkeepers to man the post for Super Eagles in the upcoming AFCON in the next few days. So Nwabali being injured will not stop Nigeria from being there. We have other good goalkeepers. And then for the good thing that has been happening to Manchester United in recent weeks, we all enjoy it. Not that I'm a die-hard fan of. No.
Because they're moving into the top 6 with over Wolves.
Wolves won. That was just last night.
Okay.
On Monday night, rather. They defeated Wolves 104 goals to 1. And you see that it is a quantum leap from what Manchester United was at the beginning of last season. Last season, they ended the season either at the 15th or 16th position, not less than 14th. But now they are almost at the same point with Chelsea. This is number 5. Chelsea has 25 points, Manchester 25 points. The difference there is just the goal differences. But I want to speak on also the issue of Nigerian Premiership. Nigerian Premiership is also gaining ground and becoming stronger, because this was where Osimhen was made. This was where JJ Okocha was made. This was where other few international players were taken from, even Christiantus. So we should not overlook the Nigerian League. So for Nigerian League last weekend, it was Nasarawa United who had still at the top, 27 points, followed by Ikorodu City, followed by Rivers United at the top. But remember, in the EPL, Arsenal is still on top of the league, and UCL, the UEFA Champions League, Arsenal is still on top when it comes to that. But unfortunately, I don't know what is happening to Real Madrid this season, because they are fluttering. They are now behind Barcelona with a whooping 4-point difference.
I even thought I was the only one that observed that.
No, you are not the only one. So let's see what happens in the subsequent games ahead.
All right, thank you very much for that sports update. And now I actually call it a wrap. Thanks for watching. This is still Frontline TV. We're coming your way very soon again with another interesting package of newspaper headlines and also sports updates. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Samuel Kali is my name.